All right. It is the Down Beach Buzz podcast for June 26, 2026, all covering the news and information from Ventnor, Margate, Longport, Absecon Island. It's all powered by Sherri Lilienfeld of EXP Realty and Paul Scollage of Rate.com. Sherri Lilienfeld, also known as Sustainable Sherri for some reason. We have some really exciting topics. This is where people who are buying real estate, you have to dig a little deeper. Something called real estate transfer taxes and mansion taxes. Sherri's going to explain that. Riparian rights, whatever that is. If Sherri doesn't do a good job talking about riparian rights, I'm getting Scott Abbott, solicitor, him, the Margate guy, the attorney. He knows everything about riparian. We had to pull him in. And terrapins, they're turtles. They're really terrapins. Get your marine life straightened out. It's nesting season. And man, some of these roads are all squashed. What's going on? How are we going to save the turtles? Sherri, what do we start with? Bring the slides up right here. How's that? Wait, I got to get rid of this and then bring that up. Okay, we're good to go.
No, we're not good to go.
Wait a second. I was just testing you.
No,
is that it? That's the wrong one. I'll remove this one. We're doing this one. This,
there we go.
Because I'm just so excited about a realty transfer fee. And we're going to take comments too, because just in case I'm confused, which is pretty common, I'm going to put the comments up. So if you're watching this live on June 26, 2026 with Sherri Lilienfeld, if you want to speak with Sustainable Sherri, we can call her in as well.
Yeah, no, this is a super important topic and it's very confusing to people. This new law and it's actually the realty transfer fee, which is different than the realty transfer tax, which has been consistent. The fee is an extra fee that went into effect on July 10th of last year, 2025. That's not a typo there. This went into effect last year, but there's so much confusion about it. And it really affects pricing here at the shore, which is why I want to talk about it, because it really affects pretty much everything that we're selling here, because it affects stuff $1 million and more. So let me just give a brief overview on what this realty transfer fee is and how it affects buyers and sellers. So some of you might remember that in 2004, it was called the mansion tax. And it was Governor McGreevey, and he implemented this mansion tax that anything over $1 million had a supplemental fee of 1%. So you have your real estate transfer tax, that's always been there. But now this supplemental fee, which is also called the transfer tax, of 1%, anything over $1 million. Well, I don't have to tell you that you can't really find anything here at the shore for less than $1 million. But when this was introduced in 2004, it was paid for by the buyer. At least that's how the law was introduced. And again, we call it the mansion tax. And we also use the acronym RTF, Realty Transfer Fee. Again, this is not the transfer tax that will always be there. This is a supplemental fee for anything over $1 million. And this is what the tax looks like. I know this is a busy slide, but the important thing to see is that, like, let's say from 1 million to 1,99999, it's the 1%. That's still there. But once you go to 2 million to 2.4999, it's 2%. And this tax will go all the way up to 3.5% of anything that is traded for 3.5 million or more. So it's 3.5% on top of a very big sale price. That is a lot of money. And the other big change is that when this new law went into effect in July of last year, July 2025, the law was rewritten that now this is the responsibility of the seller. So before the buyer was paying the mansion tax, now the law says that it's the seller. But I do want you guys to note that everything is negotiable, okay? You can ask the buyer to pay it. You can ask the buyer to split it. But the law is written a certain way, and that's something to note. But what this means is, you know, the buyer always paid this, because now that the seller has to pay it, well, what do? They just have been upping their prices. to cover this cost. So buyers have always paid and will always pay. You pay through your price. You pay for commissions through your price. You pay for these fees through your price, even though on the balance sheet at closing, it says the seller's paying. So let's look at a couple of other things. So this is for all of New Jersey, okay, not just the shore. In all of New Jersey in 2024, 16% of the homes sold, 16% were over $1 million. Like, this affects a lot of people. This isn't just about millionaires. This is about everyday people that are paying this mansion tax or realty transfer fee, the RTF. So this is another really important thing that we have been seeing here down at the shore. This real estate transfer fee or mansion tax does not apply to land, right? And how many teardowns have we seen? Like, practically everything is a teardown these days. So the deals that I'm seeing have been written with some creativity, in that if a developer's buying your house and their intention is to tear it down, one way to save the seller money is to go into an agreement where they will tear that house down before they buy it. So once it's land and once it's vacant land, there's no real estate transfer fee. That can save a lot of money to someone. So I just wanted you guys to be aware. I wanted you buyers to be aware and you sellers to be aware that this is a way that deals can be structured if the house is down and that's the intent, to sell it as land, that they tear it down. Sorry, I got a little distracted with your note about the parking lot. Anyway, that they tear it down before it's actually transferred and purchased. So let's take an example how this mansion tax or this real estate transfer fee can affect you. And so also, if you have a buyer's agent working with you or your listing agent, you have to be really aware of where this real estate transfer tax jumps up. So in this example, let's say a home is selling for $2.5 million. That mansion tax at $2.5 million is 2%. Okay, so you have 2% at $2.5 million, or an extra $50,000. If the seller's saying, well, I want more money, get me $1 more. Of course, they're not going to just say $1. But if you go to $2.5 million and $1, that transfer tax jumps up to 2.5%. So it goes from $50,000 to $62,500 just by adding that $1. So your agent needs to be very cued in on where these prices jump up in terms of their percentages. So anyway, that's just really important. You have to really know where it goes from 2% to 2.5%, from 2.5% to 3%, from 3% to 3.5%. Those numbers are super, super important. Now, I wanted to share with you a website where you can calculate all this. So this website is on the njrealtor.com site. And I'm going to just show you how it works. So you can put in an amount. So let's say you want to sell a house for $3.2 million. You put in $3.2 million, and then you press calculate. So it's telling you at $3.2 million, your real estate transfer fee on this home. The real estate transfer tax is $36,000, but the extra fee for a home over $1 million, this is the supplemental fee, the mansion tax, is $96,000. $96,000. But if you are at the cutoff point, you'll see differences. So you can play around with this. So as sellers and buyers, I would encourage you to go on this site. It's on the njrealtor.com site. It's their realty transfer fee calculator. And you can calculate what that fee is going to be. This is really important. Sellers ask me this all the time. What is my net going to be? What is my net price going to be? So the other thing that sellers need to be super aware of is, if you are not a resident, if you live in, let's say, Pennsylvania, but you own a place at the shore, you are going to also pay an additional 2%. That's another thing New Jersey did. They added this non-resident tax. There's so many taxes and fees that go to the state, and they have nothing to do with your realtor. Please don't go to your realtor and say, well, you need to cut your commission because I'm paying all this. Like, that's kind of not fair, because we are doing our jobs and working hard to get you the best price. But part of that is also educating you on this, and you need to be aware that this is an issue. So anyway, enough with that. I'd like to go on to the next topic. And of course, I would love to see if you have any questions in the chat. We do have a live chat here, so I'm happy to answer any questions. So the next question, so this applies to people who buy and sell properties at the shore. You're here for the water. You're here for the ocean. You're here for the bay. That's why you're buying and living and vacationing at the shore. So when you're doing that, you also need to be very educated on riparian rights and also bulkhead maintenance. These are big, 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 big things that you really need to know about before buying or selling your property at the shore. So what are riparian rights? Sorry, do you have a question, John? No? Okay. Whatever.
Just in case you were wondering where the hell I went, that's all.
It's
no,
nice.
I do have a question.
Okay.
What shade of lipstick is Sherri wearing today on the podcast?
Oh my God, you really need to.
It's right, listen, it's right there. Just what's the answer? What shade of lipstick?
I don't know. You tell me. Mulberry?
And the other one that you didn't ask, well, I'll bring it up again. Do you have the answer?
Did Margate pave the new parking lot? No, not yet. They did not. I will tell you, there are a lot of
so which one? It's the contaminated gas station next to Jersey Cow. I guess that big parking lot that a lot of people like parking there, but it's not paved for some reason.
Right. It's not paved. I don't know why it's not paved yet. Honestly, it was kind of crazy to me. Like, the summer hadn't even hit, yet there was still so many people parked there all through the winter. And I think there are people that work in the gym across the street. And yeah, I mean, we really do need more parking in this area. So, but it's not paved yet. We have a question.
Do you think the reason why it was not paved is because it's not ready to be paved, because there's something in that soil that you might want to just hold back on the paving? That's my wild guess.
I would agree with you, even though I have gone to the meetings and asked them. They kind of said, well, we couldn't get any good bidders. I don't understand how they couldn't get one asphalt bidder that met their specs. That doesn't make any sense. But
listen. Sustainable Sherri Lilienfeld has a background in engineering. She can sniff out nonsense and stuff that doesn't make sense, that if it's not kosher,
Well, but, it's funny. It's funny because when I go to the Margate the Margate Commissioners meeting, I'm like literally the only person that has questions about the engineering report. I sit there with the engineering report, and I have all my questions. And Ed Dennis, who's the city engineer, he says, oh my God, Sherri, I can always tell when you're coming up to the mic. He said he could tell by the way I walk. I don't know, but I always have probably about 4 questions about different projects that they have.
And this is a little off topic, but last night in Ocean City, the Wonderland vote, the property that Jay Gillian at one time owned, but Eustace Mita is the new developer. He owns the property now, and they voted to make it an area in need of redevelopment, or a property in need of redevelopment, which opens up options for them to possibly, maybe skirt around some of the issues with the master plan or the zoning and the planning board. It's kind of confusing, but it's a big, big deal putting a big hotel there at the north end of the boardwalk in Ocean City. But we'll put some more thought into it, because this is only the first step, one of the first steps in getting a hotel on that end of the Ocean City boardwalk. And I miss the parking. Well, I miss the parking in Ocean City that's close to Wonderland, the kiddie amusement park. We used to go there all the time, but for some reason the mayor was unable to make it a viable business after his grandfather started it like well over 60 years ago, I think. So, but we'll focus on that because this is all about spot zoning and zoning and planning and areas in need of redevelopment and public and private partnerships. There's a lot of stuff going on, and as taxpayers and homeowners and people that buy real estate along the shore, it's tough to keep up with all this stuff. Sustainable, especially when it comes to being next to the ocean, and especially when the environment plays a major role in all aspects real estate. Would you agree?
The environment definitely plays a major role in all aspects real estate. I think that vote is kind of interesting because it said the businesses were for it, the residents were against it. It kind of like when I think about it, I would think residents might like a hotel over the boardwalk, with all the rides, because the rides tend to bring a lot of different people from a lot of different areas, where a hotel is a little bit more kind of exclusive clientele, so to speak, if you know what I mean. So I'm surprised that the residents would be so against it. But then again, a lot of them bought in Ocean City because they like to bring their kids to the boardwalk, and they like that. And it's more like what you're used to, I think, right? So they're all used to having the rides there and the noise. I would think, again, a hotel would be quieter and better neighbor for residents. But
so if I may, yeah, I didn't. You can finish your thought.
No, I just said they're just against it, and it's interesting to see.
Okay, you see this photograph, this nice graphic that I have done here on DownbeachBUZZ?
Yes.
You think I enjoy, poking fun at our leadership, whether it's in our town or some other town, but upper left-hand side is Senator Vince Palestina. Why he's involved with this, you can put some thought into that. Here's the Ocean City mayor, Jay Gillian. He once owned this property, but then he fell into bad times, and he sold out to Eustace Mita in the lower left-hand side here, the developer. It looks like he's either contemplating something, he's praying, or he is constipated. I do not know exactly. What?
You always make me laugh. He's constipated.
Listen, the seashore really hasn't had good journalism, watchdog journalism, and we are far from that. But we can read, and we do have some synapses still working in our brains. But if you take a look at the key people in Ocean City that voted one way or another for the big giant luxury hotel at the north end, 600 North Boardwalk, basically, or 600 Boardwalk, the former Wonderland amusement pier. But right here, front and center, he is the vice president, I think, of Ocean City, the Ocean City Council, Mr. Madden. He's a real estate executive. Over here, Jilly, he has some businesses along the boardwalk. That's Jody Levchuk. He's on council. He's for the hotel, and so is Mr. Madden. Jody Levchuk. He does need to shave. He's not a good guy. The beard thing does not work. But he's a realtor. He's a realtor as well. It's just interesting. So there's two realtors. There's Eustace Mita. There's Vince Palestina. What he's doing down there, we got to get him on the podcast and throw some good questions at him. And then, of course, Ocean City Mayor Jay Gillian.
Yeah.
So why are we bringing this up? It's Ocean City. Bear in mind, Margate, Ventnor, Brigantine, Atlantic City, they all, on occasion, do stuff, areas in need of redevelopment. It kind of opens up, we got to do something. We're stuck. Or spot zoning. That's you follow this rule, you follow that rule, you follow that rule, but just you can follow a different set of rules. That's called spot zoning. Yeah. So that does keep me up at night, Miss Lilienfeld. But I just thought I would share with you.
You do like to talk a lot about the spot zoning and about the leadership or lack thereof. Yeah, that's your thing. Yeah, why is Vince Palestina so heavily involved in this? Well, he represents our county. Why is he so? What do you think his angle is on this?
He's everywhere collecting fees. That's all I know. But how about this beautiful shot of the crazy submarine ride? Who is that gentleman actually waving? Who is that?
Is that you?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Isn't that
wow.
awesome? Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. Wow. When was that?
Oh, many quite some time ago. But I guess my point is that we spent an awful lot of time. Let me get this going. We're getting off track here a little bit. I think I'm crashing
Yeah.
here.
Well,
Hold
we
on.
had a question about it. So we did want to
Yeah,
acknowledge Jeff, who
yeah.
asked
There
that
we.
question about Ocean City. Well, it affects us because look, a lot of people from here take their kids to Ocean City or go there at night, walk the boardwalk. I mean, it's our neighbors, so it affects us for
But
sure.
some key individuals who voted for the hotel is this gentleman right here, the owner of Jilly's, has some arcade games on the boardwalk, other real estate concerns. He's also a realtor. He's not a good guy with the beard though. And Mr. Madden over here, I think he got caught up in some short-term rental brouhaha. He's also a realtor. And there is Vince Palestina. What he does for our county, our area, I'm not quite sure. And who's this guy in the Wonder Bear outfit? Who is this gentleman right here?
I can't see. It's too small on my screen. Who is it?
Wait a second. Let me see if I can figure this out. Who's that guy with the red? There you go. Right there. You don't know who that is?
It almost looks like Von Real, but
It's me. Jeez.
Oh, it is you.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I like doing the Alfred Hitchcock, where he's always showing up in his work. Anyway,
Oh, he's always there. He's always watching.
didn't I
Okay.
tell you that I was not going to speak up during this? So let me just shut this off.
I like when you speak up. It
No.
always is very engaging. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what riparian rights means, because people hear it, but they don't really know what it means. So if you have a property on the water, that could be the beach or the bay or a lake or a stream, you have special rights which states how you can use it. For example, you have a house on the bay. It's actually called on the bay. It's called littoral rights. You can see that in the bottom. Littoral rights means open body of water, like an ocean or a bay. And riparian rights really apply to moving water, like a stream or a river. But people use them interchangeably down here. When you're talking about riparian rights or littoral rights, you're talking about your rights to use the water attached to your property, like to build a dock. You have to have special permits and rights that are deeded to you to use that, to build that dock, to have your boat there, or to be able to put a pair stairs that go out to the beach. If you're on the beach, you need rights to do that. So that's what riparian rights are all about. So for buyers, if you are buying a property at the shore and it's on the water, you really need to be very clear on what those rights are. And I would highly, highly suggest you have an attorney that specializes in that. John Scott Abbott, he's the best. I actually refer my clients to him with this. He has the books. This is his claim to fame is these water rights, and he has the maps, and he does his research. If you have, again, something on the water on the beach, you want to understand what the foot traffic is or the boating traffic to your property. You want to be sure you have claim to that area exclusively, and not that it's public, that anybody could dock there. And also another important thing as a buyer is you need to inspect the bulkhead. It could be quite costly, $100 to $600 per linear foot. Let's say you have a 50-foot bulkhead and it's going to be $500 a linear foot to repair. That's $25,000. Again, important things. What are your rights? What are your riparian rights? And inspect your bulkhead. Very important. And for sellers, you need to be clear. Like if you're making statements, you better be sure you have the documentation to back up your statements on the riparian rights. And it's also a good idea, just like it's a good idea to get a home inspection before you put your house on the market, to get an engineering assessment of your bulkhead before putting your house on the market. It could be a deal killer if the buyer finds out, like, hey, you have a lot of problems here and it's going to be $25,000, $30,000. It could kill a deal. Okay, so John, do you want to talk about this with me, the terrapins? Maybe, maybe not. All
No, I
right.
think you are an expert at these turtles. They're not turtles, they're terrapins, and they are getting smashed. Although the Margate Down Beach Express is doing a much better job than in the past, making sure there's the least amount of mortality with these nesting baby mama turtles, mama terrapins. But over there in the with the causeway between Longport and Summers Point, that's a real problem, isn't it, Cher?
Yeah, and yes, to your point. So if people don't realize this, which is why there's a toll there, the Margate Causeway is a privately owned road, which is why there's a toll booth, which is why there's money. But the owners can, I shouldn't say could do what they want, but they have a little more flexibility in when they put stuff along the road. So what they did, and they did an amazing job, is they added additional barriers on the roads to keep the turtles from crossing. And I'm going to talk about why do these turtles cross the road? I know that was a big joke. Why does a turtle cross the road? Well, we're going to find out. But the terrapins, they're actually diamondback terrapins, which we have here, are so important to our ecosystem. So you love the Jersey Shore, you love the beach, you love the bay. You need to protect these terrapins. They're very important for our ecosystem and for our real estate. And I'm going to explain why they're important for the real estate. So one of the things the terrapins do is they help keep our salt marshes healthy. And the way that they do that is they eat, like a lot of the snails and stuff, the stuff that eats the grasses. And those grasses on the salt marshes are very critical. They help prevent shoreline erosion. They filter pollutants from the water. They reduce flooding during the storms. Are you listening to me? They help reduce flooding during the storms, which again is so important for our real estate. So this is why the terrapins are really critical. And the salt marshes provide habitats for hundreds of other species. Again, another reason why we love it down here, because of the nature. So these terrapins are really important for our ecosystem, but there's other things that they do that are super important. They support the water quality. They keep the bays cleaner. They reduce the nutrient pollution. That's the pollution from runoff, like fertilizer and stuff. They improve water clarity, and it's just a better habitat for our fish, shellfish, and other marine life. Again, people come down here, they like to eat seafood. Well, the terrapins help keep our water quality good and our seafood better quality. They're really important. And there's lots of other things they do, and they help sustain the crabs and the bass and the flounder and the bayfish. Again, super important. So we all have a job to protect them and help them reproduce, which is why they're crossing the road. Why are the terrapins crossing the road? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Well, first of all, when you see something like this and you're flying down that causeway, please slow down. It is not road debris. It is most likely a turtle this time of year. The turtles reproduce late spring, early summer. They are very, very, very active now. When you see that, please slow down. So what are they doing? They're leaving the salt marshes, and they're coming to lay their eggs. That is why they are crossing the road. They're looking for a sandy patch. They dig a hole. They can lay about up to 20 eggs. So unfortunately, when some of these turtles get smashed, so sad. First of all, it's horrible to look at. It's very painful for the turtles. A lot of times their shells crack and they don't die right away. It's horrible, but their eggs are still inside of them. And some of the rescue people, like from Scott's Dock, they come and they rescue some of the eggs. They come and they take the eggs, and then they'll release them later on. But these eggs are really important for future generations of these terrapins. So please slow down. So that's all I wanted to say, is just be aware. The terrapins are crossing now. They're all over the roads in not good condition. Very sad to watch. Just slow down and be aware. Don't be texting. Pay attention. So that's all I wanted to say about the terrapins. Just wanted to create some awareness here. Oops. Are you coming back on the screen?
No,
Where are you?
this is your cue to talk about sustainable Sherri.
Oh, my cue about sustainable Sherri. Well, yeah, so I do have, so the environment is super important to me. And it does tie in very well with real estate because, again, the reason why people buy at the shore is because of this beautiful environment, the relaxation of the beach and the ocean, going out on a boat, whatever it is. You're here because you love the cleanliness and the beauty of the Jersey Shore. But I do have a website, Sustainable Sherri, and I do post videos. I did one on the turtles. Recently, I talked about the lead line replacement that was going on in our streets. Of course, my big thing is the construction dust that's going on with all this construction. Look, I love the construction in terms of it's elevating the quality of the homes here. They're low maintenance, but there's a lot of pollution that's created, and all we're asking is for contractors to be mindful of construction pollution. That's with in that picture. That's me with Steve Giesecke.
What, who? Wait, who?
So Steve Giesecke.
No, wait, no. His name. I thought it was Sustainable Steve.
Yeah, well, yeah, we affectionately call him Sustainable Steve, but he's not ready to take on his superhero cape, even though he's a total environmental superhero. He just doesn't wear a cape.
But does he know that he has very little choice in that matter?
We're going to work on that, aren't we? Yes.
Yeah.
Steve lives in this area. He lived here before all this construction. He told me there used to be 3 creeks that ran through Margate, which is crazy to think about. Like there were 3 creeks. Steve is so involved with so many organizations like Surfrider of South Jersey. He's just so very active and knowledgeable. And he is a true environmental superhero. And he and I have been fighting construction dust in terms of just having contractors be more responsible in containing the pollution and just properly disposing of it. But yeah, Sustainable Sherri is my website. There's also products people can buy. I have an area where you can buy green items. There's stuff for construction. There's stuff for your home. These are the items we'd like to see contractors using, saw hoods. So yeah, and just sign up on my contact page and you'll get my newsletter that comes out like every 2 weeks.
All right, let me see if you have been keeping up on Down Beach Buzz. So I like to quiz you to make sure that you are tracking everything we write online. One moment here. Let's see here. Where are we? Come on.
Come on.
So some of the news stories we have going here would be, we just posted from last night, the Margate dredging cost. So far, Sherri, thank you very much for contributing to the $5.2 million cost of doing phase 1 with the Back Bay dredging. Everybody in Margate, thanks you for that. New e-bike laws are going to be kicking in soon. Senator Palestina, does he support the Ocean City Boardwalk spot zoning deal? It looks like he does. We got the story there from Miss Sherri Lilienfeld, the Terrapin Crossing. Wow, Dock Dogs right next to Scott's Dock, Amherst Avenue in Margate. So much fun. A lot of fishing and Frankfurters. It's way more than that. We also
Frankfurters.
We just posted the summer beach concerts for Ventnor. I think it's one of the best. So
I love it. I love it. I love live music, and when it's outside, it's just so great.
Yeah, Ventnor does it the best. It's the perfect location. It's on the beach. It's the boardwalk. Ventnor has a lot of great land where it can put on a lot of fun stuff. Get in line now.
Wait 1 second. I just want to mention with the Ventnor.
Ventnor
does Wednesday nights on the beach. Saturday nights on the boardwalk, and they just redid that stage, which is fantastic. And it's a big area for people to bring their chairs. But on Wednesday nights, they have it at Ski Beach. They have concerts. Like Ventnor has a lot of live outdoor music, which I love. Wednesday night and Saturdays, fantastic.
And brand new pickleball courts as well.
Yes.
So here's some of the stories we have posted recently. Get up. on DownbeachBUZZ.com. And yes, you can even see that the offshore wind turbine thing, it's still out there. Always don't let your guard down, and just put your email address into the top. Go to downbeachbuzz.com and subscribe right here. There's no spam, no junk stuff. We're very careful about what we send out. And then over here you can search for things. Like if you're dying to know more about the Sunrise Tequila Bar, just pop that in there and hit enter, and all the stories comes up. It's pretty good.
Wow.
And over here today and tomorrow, the Ventnor Community Yard Sale. That's how that works. They got the beach concerts right here. And the Margate Farmers Market, which was yesterday. That's doing great. So that gives you some idea. And you could always know you're on the right side of downbeachbuzz.com when you see sustainablesherri.com smiling on the front page. Okay.
You're
All
so
right, I think that's about it. That was good. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Well, I do want to say one thing, because you did bring up about the wind turbines. So everyone thinks they are dead. They're not dead, and the organizations are organizing now to resurrect them and bring them back. Yeah. See this map. If anyone has a chance, please go read this story and look at this map. This shows all the lease areas where they're destined to have offshore wind turbines, and it really affects New Jersey. If you think it's dead, it is not dead. And please be aware and pay attention and support our efforts as we try to fight this, because it will destroy not only our ocean and marine life, but it will destroy our real estate, because no one wants to look at those wind turbines. They want to look at the beautiful vista without anything in it. So,
and that guy, Brooks Garrison, he wrote this story. Yeah. To tell us about Brooks Garrison, and what's the organization, and what does he do there?
So Brooks is the president of Defend Our Beaches, New Jersey. Brooks is such an intelligent, educated man. He owns an architectural firm. It's a family business. He grew up in it. He deals a lot with municipalities. His business mostly focuses on school districts, but he is also an avid boater. He loves the environment, and he wants to protect it. And I'm on that organization with him. It's Defend Our Beaches NJ. It's DownbeachBUZZ.org. So please, go on the website, check out what's there, but really do not get complacent. This is not over, and Brooks is leading the battle to try to. So all those leases that were out there, what we're trying to do is they're available for any offshore wind developer to develop them. It's like if you have a piece of real estate and one developer falls out, they sell it to another developer. They could still do this. So we're just trying to make a permanent protection of the ocean from anything. And that's the other thing. People think, oh, we're in bed with the oil people. We want to protect the ocean from industrialization, whatever that is, whether it's offshore wind, oil drilling. We think the ocean is a national treasure, and it needs to be maintained like that.
All right. Say goodbye, Sherri. We just got to go because we're running out of time, and you have a road trip, and it's important for you to identify who and why would somebody want to call you, and how do they find you?
So the reason they would want to call me is because I deeply care about my clients. I put my clients' interests above anything else. I work very hard finding out all the details so my clients can make educated decisions. My motto is disclose, disclose, disclose. I fully believe that people should be told things and not think they'll never find out or it'll go away. Disclose, disclose, disclose. So my job is to give the best effort, put my best foot forward for my clients, and have their interest before anything else, including mine. I work for my clients. So that's why I think they should call me. Plus, I also, my background is in marketing. If you have a home for sale, my job is to get it out there to as many people as possible in the best light as possible. And that's my background. It's marketing. So I would love to market your property if you want to sell it. And if you're a buyer, I'd love to work with you to find the best fit for you. And they can find me at either realtysherri@gmail.com, or my number is 609-287-1795. And happy to take on any questions and talk to you.